And now, back to the Dr. A Show with your host, Dr. Will Aguila.
Welcome back to the show. A registered dietitian with a master's degree in nutritional science, Rachel Beller founded the Beller Nutritional Institute in Beverly Hills. She served as a nutritionist for NBC's hit primetime weight loss program, The Biggest Loser, was a nutrition consultant for the Oxygen Channel series Dance Your A Off, and served as a nutrition life changer for Dr. Drew's Lifechangers show. She has been an expert for Glamour magazine and Body by Glamour section. She currently serves as spokesperson for the American Cancer Society and sits on numerous professional advisory boards for major health organizations. Her newest book is Eat to Lose, Eat to Win, Your Grab-and-Go Action Plan for a Slimmer, Healthier You. Rachel, welcome to the Dr. A Show.
Thank you. Glad to be here, Dr. A.
Rachel, on your book, Sheryl Crow wrote the preface of the book, and it says, she said, quote, unquote, "What you eat matters immensely, and what I had been eating couldn't have been more wrong." End quote. What did she mean by this?
Basically, that the diet that she was eating prior to working with me wasn't necessarily a helpful one. So we made a lot of changes.
Now let me explain that the reason she wrote that is because she is very healthy, very fit. Thought she was doing all the right things.
Correct.
And despite that, she developed breast cancer, and she underwent a lipectomy and radiation, yes. Which thankfully she has done very well from. But then she counseled you for her nutrition and realized, wow, I've been doing it all wrong. So what did you tell her?
It's not that everything was wrong, but there are things to learn in setting up an action plan, a nutritional action plan, that can set you up with preventative measures. And you really have to highlight what those are so that you can look for them and seek them out and actually incorporate them into your daily life. So there's perception of a generally healthy diet, and there's the reality of what that really looks like and how do you set it up in an easy way. And that's what we did. We devised a very easy action plan that's very protective for breast health. A breast health action plan.
You actually mentioned, and this is so true, that it is easy to develop a total disconnect between perception and reality when it comes to healthy meals. Why do you think that's so? Why do you think that's so?
Well, we look at certain meals and we say, oh, that's not bad, a salad or a wrap or, a lot of foods, they look seemingly healthy, but they're not, which is why I developed my signature food autopsy alerts, where I really open up foods, put on my gloves and dissect them and say, hey, you know what, this is what you're really eating. But the difference in what we're delivering in Eat to Lose, Eat to Win is not only are we opening up your eyes and awareness, but we're also dishing out an actionable solution. So it's not all bad news. A lot of things in the media you see, oh, this shake is so bad. Let me tell you why. It's pretty much like eating burgers and fries. But then what? So how do you run your life? And that's where I come in with a strategy.
Well, I got to tell you, you really opened my eyes because I looked through your book and I thought I was eating well. And, I lost a lot of weight in my lifetime as well. But you really educated me. And I want to go through some of these with the listeners real quick here. I love sushi. Okay? And so I thought, what if I eat a California roll? So what's the big deal? But you say a California roll equals 2 sandwiches filled with imitation crab, avocado, and a tiny bit of veggies.
Yep.
So, wow.
Yep. What you're looking at is the carb equivalent of 4 slices of bread, and that's thankfully that's due to the amount of rice that they're rolling onto one of those seaweed sheets. Seaweed sheet is very healthy, but it's a mega carb overload. Then they add processed fish, which is imitation crab. And, you've got avocado, which is healthy, but there's really no valuable, volume of veg. It's the protection is not there. And then you dunk it in some, sodium-filled, salt water there with the soy sauce. And the wasabi, which is 9 out of 10 times not really wasabi. It's
wasabi's a vegetable. Wasabi's a vegetable, isn't it?
It's a root, yeah, it is, but this is not wasabi. This is horseradish, which is healthy, but it's dyed green. So,
I know.
But it's not all bad news. You can do sushi right, and the book shows you how to enjoy sushi in a way that's a lot more healthful and protective.
Yeah, you actually do a wrap with the a handhold wrap,
yes.
And you limit the amount of rice, and then they're just beautiful, and that's a great idea. In fact, that's what I'm going to do next time I go have sushi. And the other thing is you talk about brown rice, and I never knew you could do this, but you say here you can ask to go easy on the rice. I had no clue that I could do this. I thought I would get chopped. I thought I would get chopped off with the guy making the sushi and the knife. You know, if I actually ask him to do that. But it seems like they're willing to do it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Just say easy on the rice, and then instead of having 2 sandwiches, maybe you'll end up with 1, which isn't criminal with brown rice. But, you could do hand rolls and ask for hold the rice. You could do a little side salad, add some more volume and antioxidants, and you've got a beautiful meal at a fraction of the calories, and it's way healthier.
Yeah. And that makes sense, and it looks really great. Let me go over one more of these, because this is another one that shocked me. Wraps. Everybody thinks that wraps are healthier, right? Because you didn't do a little wrap with some veggies in it and maybe a little bit of chicken. But my goodness, I didn't realize that one of those tortilla wraps can equal 3 times the calories and carbs of a slice of bread.
Absolutely.
So let me repeat that. 3 times the calories and carbs of a slice of bread, just one tortilla. So explain this.
It looks thin and very deceiving, and many of the health food stores have them in their cases, so you buy, a spinach wrap, so to speak. And But yes, the calories and the carb from that one tortilla is equal to 3 slices of, generally speaking, it's white bread. It's not even a whole grain. That they've colored green with 2% or less of spinach powder, and some places even add food coloring. Yellow number 5 and blue number 1 to come out with a nice color. So you've got 3 slices of white bread that's colored, painted basically green. And then there's a token slice of veg, which is the lettuce and a little bit of tomato. That's a far cry from an antioxidant valuable meal that you have. If you can see through your veggies, like what you'd put in a sandwich, they don't count.
Oh, that's a very good point. If you can see through your veggies, I like that.
Yep.
You also talk about, now we can't go through your whole book, but I wish we could, but you have some really out-of-the-box ideas here that are really great. You also talk about, you don't like to calorie count. You prefer the flip it method. Can you tell us briefly what that is? Because that's really
Sure. We show a lot of pictures of pre-flip meals, and this is something that I came up with while working on The Biggest Loser, where the contestants, they had all their meals completely upside down. Their first priority on a plate was pasta, then an oversized amount of chicken, looks like a chicken breast on steroids, and then maybe a token amount of veg sprinkled around for decoration, and maybe some pine nuts and pesto, and there's just a calorie overload. And what I taught them to do is actually to just flip their meals. And number 1, instead of the pasta, build a base of veg, valuable veg filled with antioxidants. Then put a reasonable amount of chicken on there, or protein, and then marinara sauce, a little bit of, flavor, a little Parmesan cheese. But by flipping the meals, you cut the calories by 2/3. From 1,300, you can go to 400. You're full. You're getting everything you need, and you're protecting your body at the same time. So that's a flip it mentality, where you basically shift the priorities is what you're putting on the plate. And without counting calories, you'll end up anywhere between 350 probably to 500 calories for the meal. Can't go wrong.
That's fantastic. And of course, if you do 500 calories less a day in a week, that's a pound. So that's pretty good.
That's correct. Yeah. But you can do more than that. There's so much.
Actually, you can do way more than that. That's a great method. Now, we're running out of time, so tell us very quickly about the squeeze test for bread. This is also pretty neat.
Yes, a squeeze test for buying bread is when you go to the market, you don't judge it by its color, you judge it by its squeezability. So basically, you can take a bread, and if you can squeeze it into a marble, then see how far you can throw it, because it's absolutely worthless. What you want is...
This is after you bought it, right? After you buy the bread. Don't do it in the grocery store.
Don't do it. You might get busted by the manager or security. But, if you see visible grains inside, that is what you're looking for. It's whole grains. It resists serious squishing, and it's a winner. It really is the true definition of bread.
And it works every time.
Yes.
Well, this is fantastic. Rachel, where can the listeners pick up your book? It's a great book, and I highly recommend it.
Thank you. No, it's filled with pictures, all pictures. Eat to Lose, Eat to Win, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, Costco, anywhere. It's really quite widely available, and it's doing really well, and people are shedding some serious pounds and preserving and preventing disease.
And also they can reach you at your website, BellerNutritionalInstitute.com, correct?
Yep, and Facebook /Rachel Beller.
Once again, Rachel, thank you so much for being on the show. Once again, her newest book is Eat to Lose, Eat to Win, your grab-and-go action plan for a slimmer, healthier you. Thanks again.
Thank you, Dr. A.
Stick around. When we return, we will have a surprise celebrity guest talking about his new movie here on the Dr. A Show, so don't go away.